can just change it while it's going. So if I go into the skeleton class, find where it fires an arrow. And I was trying to make it predict where I'm going, I'll shoot there instead. It's about having it feel like a game, like what would you expect a game to do. Let's take the current speed and direction of the target and multiply it by some kind of constant, time. 5 for now. No, that didn't work it out. So now the skeleton is just firing in the wrong direction. Yeah, I could do anything. We can make arrows explode when they hit the ground instead. Arrow in ground. There we go. Place ain't my head. Now the arrow should explode here. No, they didn't. Why didn't they? Weird. Let's just make it explode all the time. Okay, that worked. Yep, that crashed the game. When doing a game, it's more about what do you expect from a game and trying to play around with those expectations. That's kind of the most fun part. We need to have exploding arrows. They're actually kind of fun.
This is Skybound, the first game I ever made. At least this was the first game I ever made, released, and it was the first game that did not crash in the first few seconds. It plays a little bird, flying through the air, shooting other birds, dragons, and the occasional UFO. The goal of the game was to achieve as many points as possible before you die. Pretty simple arcade stuff. It was simple, but it was hard, and it took hours of learning and configuring, and a hell of a lot of learning. This game is for public release, but mind you, it's pretty bad, and on one of those weird corners of the internet that no one would ever think to look. All of the strife and pain and learning and overcoming had to be for some purpose, right? I mean, I've played games for years, but how hard could it be to make one, right? Well, I had an inspiration. Markus Persson, creator of Minecraft, was featured in a small indie documentary filmed by 2Player Productions, rightfully called Minecraft, the Story of Mojang. They made a short film interviewing everyone involved with Minecraft, Mojang, and the company's future. The clip I showed at the beginning of the video was a snippet of a 4-minute clip on YouTube showing Persson coding Minecraft. This short 4-minute clip inspired me to take on programming. This short 4-minute minute clip is what made me want to learn about game development. The fact that with just a few lines of code, he was able to make exploding arrows, and he was able to manipulate the lighting and the trajectory of the arrow shot by skeletons was mind-blowing. I wanted to make something so that someone could look at it and play it and be happy, because that's how Minecraft made me feel. That's how we all deserve to feel. And to see that in action with Persson made me so excited. So from that day forward, I vowed to learn how to make games so that people could play them and enjoy them, and so that I could grow as a person. And it was not pretty. Game Maker tutorials, a lot of giving up, and a lot of Sean Spalding later, and I was able to make this. After that, I went on to make a few others. This one I'll get to later, remember that one. And eventually, over the years, I grew tired of the Game Maker language. So I decided to branch out. Have you ever seen one of these GIFs before? Probably. They're just small, cool, satisfying animations, but have you ever wondered how they work? Some of them are obvious, but others not so much. This type of thing is done using special programs with the mathematics language in mind. The Coding Train is a popular YouTube channel that makes tutorials and videos on the P5 JavaScript language. Over time, I learned how to make for loops and use the language itself to make some really cool geometric shapes. If you know me personally, I'm a huge math fanatic, and being able to figure out some really cool designs on my own was really uplifting. GameMaker took the back seat for a while as I dived deeper into P5, and I was doing this well into my college years. Eventually I stopped and was at a loss for what to do next. Unfortunately, my life as a whole came to a halt when the pandemic struck, and I literally had nowhere to go. But then I remembered about GameMaker, and I reminisced on the passion I had when I was younger. So I tasked myself with creating a clone of a very popular phone game, Flappy Bird, and it was successful for the most part. I eventually turned into something entirely new as time went on. You could even see the transformation happening if you scroll through my channel. I halted the project and decided that enough was enough. I thought it would be interesting to make a clone of a well-established part of people's past, but there was just something about it I couldn't get behind. Yet again, I was at a loss of what to do. Remember that game I told you to remember for later? Well, that game was called Impulse, and I've tried making Impulse about 3 times up to this point, each with different art styles, but each to no avail as something I actually wanted to play. The concept was there, but I was afraid that the game was unpolished. Well, one night, for the 4th and final time, I decided to try remaking this tiny little project, and I spent about 6 hours on it in one night. I got pretty far, and each day I would add a little more and a little more, and eventually, not very long after, I had finished it. And I was so proud of myself, I bought the full version of GameMaker Studio and I published the game to the world. Currently, the game is in version 1.2.0 and is scheduled for another major release soon. I'm incredibly proud of the progress I have made, and I sure don't know everything, but I try as hard as I can to make things enjoyable for people like you. Just normal, everyday people. I started Hearthland Games to brand myself as someone important, but also as a starting ground for a potential indie gaming identity, with a real team of good friends to make games you want to play. My dream is to make games that make people happy, because I love making people happy, and I love the work itself. Coding your own game is an eye-opening experience, and it really is something else to look at a tangible thing that you've worked on for hours and hours and say, I'm having fun. And that is the story of game development, how I got inspired from Markus Persson and Minecraft, and how it still influences me today. I look at that today and I think to myself, I've grown so much, and I still have so much to learn. I really hope that if anybody who looks at my work, I really hope that you enjoy it. I hope that you are happy with it. And I hope that you share it to other people, because I want to make them happy. I'm not in it for fame or glory, but I just want to make people happy. Anyway, this is just a small little video I wanted to put out there, so thank you for watching.